exactly 7:15, and there it is, an event that the entire country looks forward to every single year, and I'm sure still hasn't sunk in just yet. There it is, a beautiful new Miss SA Natasha Joubert crowned just a few nights ago. I'm sure it's been a sleepless few nights as well. Joining us on the show this morning here in ST1, Studio 1 in Hyde Park. Good to have you with us, by the way. I'm Gareth Edwards. Number on the screen, by the way, if you do want to call in. We haven't told the now reigning queen that we're going to take some calls, but maybe you just want to call in, just a quick congratulations, some love. We'll leave the number up there for you, 011-537-9431. Natasha Joubert, 28 years old, Miss SA. Good morning.
28? You've added 2 years to my age.
Have I? Is it 20?
Salim, I'm 26.
You're 26?
I'm 26.
All right, South Africa, we've all been getting it wrong up to this point as well. I apologize for that, but has it even sunk in?
Not at all.
Yeah?
The first night I had like 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Last night was a good 6 hours. Like, I'm feeling refreshed, and now this morning I was like, okay, yeah, I need to get used to this. But not yet.
But
not yet.
When do you think you would, though? When's that moment where you wake up and you go...
I have a feeling like a few months.
Yeah.
When it's part of your schedule, this is a new job. So if you think of any job that you would start like as day one, it doesn't feel real yet.
Yeah.
But also it's been a whirlwind. Like immediately interviews, we've got press conferences.
It hasn't stopped, has it?
No, not at all.
And then you come here and I get your age wrong. I mean, if anyone is going to get the age wrong, it cannot be a man talking to Miss SA. So I apologize. Even my team was screaming at me, going, "What are you doing? She's 26 years old."
No, that's okay.
I want to take us back to this moment.
Yes.
I want to just play this very quickly because I've always wanted to know what someone in your position is thinking as this is happening. Take a look at this.
And the winner of the Miss South Africa pageant 2023 is...
Here it
Natasha!
Can you pause in your mind for me that moment? Like, what is that exact, when you hear, do you know when you hear the is it the Natasha? Is it the Joubert? Where does it suddenly kick in that is like, oh, that's me?
So I always wanted to Bonang to host when I enter. Like, I really, really wanted to hear her voice saying my name. So I think I just like manifested, visualized her saying my name. So when I heard her voice, like, obviously Brownie and Natasha, it sounds quite different. Yeah. So when I just heard the start of my name, I was like, there was no tears, and all of a sudden there was just tears. And when Ndavi came up, I remember just saying, I don't know what's going on. And she's like, you're being crowned, you Miss South Africa. And it just went. It
so
just went.
Like an out-of-body experience.
An out-of-body experience. Like, you can't explain the feeling to anyone.
Yeah.
It's almost, but you think that all the emotions would come at once. But I think you've worked so long and so hard that you need to get used to the idea, like, you are now the Miss South Africa. You are Miss South Africa. It's bizarre.
I want to talk about that journey for a second because it was a couple of years ago where you entered as well. We'll talk about the rule changes. I don't want to get too technical on it in a moment with the rule changes for Miss SA, for you being entered into this year's event. But that journey, I mean, how long ago did you decide, you know what, that's where I want to be? I want to be in that moment where I'm listening for my name and I get crowned. Where did that start for you?
So I entered back in 2020. I was 23 years old, and that experience in itself was different because it was COVID. So it was the first time, obviously, putting myself out there, really like challenging myself. And I came second runner-up, which now looking back, like, I really understand why I wasn't crowned Miss South Africa back then. Went to Miss Universe in 2021 after Zozi, where I did not place top 21. And I think it was more the afterwards when I started with my psychologist. I had sessions afterwards. It was a really, really hard disappointment to work through. I knew at the back of my head, like, the support I received from South Africa, I want to come back. But I wasn't fully to a place where I felt content and at peace with everything that's happened before, and I knew I had to work through it. So then I wanted to enter last year, which regulations-wise I wasn't allowed to, so I didn't. Which was also hard. I was like, I was bummed.
Obviously, the changes to the regulations have ended up with you being where you are now,
yes.
crowned Miss South Africa. What did you make of the regulation changes when they came in? Many critics over the years have been calling for those changes to come in. It was just never happening. I imagine you're in support of it because this is where you are now. But what did you make of it before, when you couldn't re-enter and you couldn't, for various other reasons, take part a second time?
So I actually was always allowed to re-enter. That evening of 2020, Miss South Africa crowning in 2020, I thought initially I couldn't re-enter. And I remember with the, like afterwards, everyone was socialized. One of the members from the organization, they were like, no man, you just come back in a few years. And I was like, am I allowed to enter again? She's like, yes, as long as you aren't Miss South Africa. So I always knew, even going to Miss Universe, like that is an option should I want to come back. So it was never a rule that I could not re-enter. But yeah, I mean, now looking back, like it's a full circle moment. Like this was destiny. This was my time to be Miss Africa.
It was on the regulations, if I understand them correctly, the brief part that I read up is that even you can be married and be a Miss SA, which I think was a bit confusing for a lot of people. What do you make of the changes for the regulations? And it does open it up for a lot more women to take part, doesn't it?
Well, this is a women empowerment platform, and I think the first thing that we need to do is inclusivity. We need to attract everyone to say, like, listen, if you have something to offer for the country, you're allowed on the stage. I mean, it doesn't make you a weaker contender to be married, to be a mother. So I am definitely pro that choice. Like, I feel like that's the right direction we are moving towards.
I mean, I would even contend it makes you a better participant if you have that life experience
you have
as
life experience. And also as Miss South Africa, like, you need to have different facets to you. So as women, like, that's what we bring to the table.
So now, of course, everyone knows there's a lot of work involved, but I don't want anyone who's watching this at the moment, maybe young girls looking up to you now, as they have for all the Miss South Africas over the years, saying, I want to be you. But you look like a princess. Of course, you've got the crown on. They're aspiring to be you. But it's not all glitz and glam, isn't it? Tell me about the work.
Not at all. So I think the work is only getting started now, even though it's been a very, very long journey. Like, it's been 3 years where I tried to stay so consistent and constantly work on myself, grow, learn more, educate myself more. But now it's all about implementing. And I think that's what I loved about the mission statement in our top 7. It was really voicing what you're going to stand for, what are you going to do with the platform. It was so, so important to me coming back, especially after 2020, to say, I'm not just here to voice the same thing. I really want to bring in action. So I secured bursaries already, and that's the first thing on top of my list that I would love to roll out.
So when you talk about bursaries, what sort of sector are you looking at getting the bursaries and getting involved in? What would you like to see changing with the platform that you've got now? What do you want to see change?
So specifically what I'm currently working on is bursaries towards women coding in the IT space. I feel like that's something that women don't get as equal opportunity to. So that's the one thing I'm working alongside ASUS with. Then I went back to my varsity as well, Boston City campus, and they secured 8 bursaries, different, all over the board, like content creation, movie, filming, marketing, business management. So it's really just going to institutions, varsities, and saying, what can you bring to the table? Like, even if it's one. If it's one bursary, a 3-year degree, or, diploma, anything. So that's going to be exciting for this year.
As we take a look at the visuals, obviously the microphones on the stage, once they've made the announcement, here it is just afterwards, everyone's coming up and congratulating you as well. What are they saying to you, all the runners-up and all those who didn't end up with the crown? What are they saying to you? Do you even remember, or is it just a blur?
I remember specifically Kia and Ane coming first. Like, I remember Ane beforehand was like, no, you're going to be Miss South Africa. She was just affirming me throughout the entire week, pageant finale week. And yeah, everyone just said, congratulations, you're the new Miss South Africa. But it goes so fast. Like, I wish I could go back and be like, okay, pause. Let's first take this in. Take as much videos as possible so I can reflect back on it. Last night we watched the show for the first time.
I was going to ask, have you actually watched this back? And
yes, I did last night. I had to. I want to live in the moment. I really want to experience it while it's still alive, you know. So it's insane. Like, watching that video, it doesn't feel like me. It's like I'm watching another Miss South Africa being crowned.
Doesn't feel real?
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
We're going to take a quick call. I think it's Kwana. I hope I got the name right, Kwana. Morning from Pretoria, your hometown, Natasha. Just a quick one. Morning, Kwana. Go ahead. You're live with Gareth and Natasha. What's your comment for Miss SA?
Morning.
Oh, go ahead, Kwana. Turn your TV down for me as well. Turn your TV down quick and go ahead. You're talking to Miss SA as well.
Morning, Mrs. SA.
Go ahead, Kwana. Go ahead.
Morning, my name is Kwana Lekoti, and I'm a matric during this 2023 year. So I wanted to know, since you have been crowned as Miss South Africa, but how do you feel after being crowned, because of you have the opportunity that other women don't have?
It's a good question. Did you get that, Natasha? Just the opportunity now that you've got it, knowing how many other women won't get an opportunity like this. How do you feel being given this sort of platform, this, I want to say, this position of power, because that's what it is. That's what Kwana wants to know. Thanks, Kwana, for the call.
Yes, thank you for the question. So it's a big responsibility, right? I knew coming back that when I'm here, everything I voice, I'm speaking for others as well that don't get a chance to stand on the Miss South Africa stage or voice something that's so important to them. So with everything I say, I try and be extremely intentional. With everything I do, even with everything I said on the stage 2 nights ago, I was very intentional. I meant every single word. So I want to implement, I want to show it, but then also show up and stick to my word.
Yeah, you see, because now the problem is it's out there. People
it's out there. People are giving like out, like they replaying and replaying that statement. I'm like,
that soundbite's going to come back to haunt you if you don't get it right, which of course you will. Ronnie, morning also on the calls this morning. Ronnie, hello. I didn't quite get where you're from, Ronnie. Morning, it's Gareth and Natasha. Ronnie from Cape Town. Go ahead.
What's your comment? From Cape Town, yes.
Go ahead, Ronnie.
Posthumously on behalf of the first Miss South Africa in 1948, Evelyn McCaskill. And I'm sure that she would love to have said congratulations, but unfortunately she passed away in October last year. Evelyn McCaskill posthumously sends congratulations to Natasha.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ronnie.
Ronnie,
I appreciate it so much.
I mean, that's the legacy that we're talking about here, that Ronnie takes the time to call in.
Yes.
And that's,
thank you
do you
so
feel that
much.
pressure? I mean, do you, when you were going through the process, and not just the crowning and winning it, but knowing the gravity of a competition like this and the importance for South African society as well? I know sometimes you said it felt a bit of out-of-body experience on the night and maybe a bit of a bubble, but the entire country is rooting for you. I mean, how much pressure are you feeling?
Yo. How do I answer this? Because I want to be like, no, act confident you can do this, which I know I can. Some days you're like, you don't understand the magnitude of this. Our president tweeted about me saying, like, showing up for that second chance, it's bizarre to know that people see and listen that you never thought would. So yes, it's a big responsibility, but I can't really live in fear of maybe saying it's too much of a responsibility, but saying like, yes, I can do this. Like, whatever I can bring to the table, whatever I can do as Miss South Africa, whoever's life I can change, whoever I can inspire, that's what I'm going to do. That's the goal. If you see something in me that you relate to, I would be happy.
Ronnie, I think making it very real, the legacy that you're carrying as well. Ronnie from Cape Town, thank you. Next caller as well. I want to say Lingile from Cape Town, or Dingile from Cape Town. Morning, it's Gareth and Natasha. Go for it. So I hope I got the name right. What's your comment? Morning.
Morning, Gareth. The name is Pindile.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I just wanted to say to Miss South Africa that Natasha, you are such an inspiration. I saw you in 2020, and for the fact that you came back and you just showed us that we should never give up. So I'm wishing you the best, and you're just an inspiration. We love you as a nation, and big ups to you.
Thank you. So really, really thank you so much. Like, it makes it so much more worth it, sitting here and knowing every single day you show up for South Africans. So really, really thank you for following along and supporting me throughout this journey. Like,
Pindile from Cape Town and carrying you. That's exactly what Pindile is saying. And Pindile, sorry, I think I need to go see an audiologist. I'm apparently going deaf in my old age. Pindile from Cape Town. We might try and sneak another call in or two. I know we've run the clock on this one. Normally headlines at 7 o'clock. You'll forgive us. We have Miss South Africa 2023 Natasha Joubert with us. She's going to stay with us for just a couple of more moments. Let's see. We can maybe get a few more calls. 011-537-9431. And Salvan from Durban. I'm going to take you in a moment, Salvan. Give me a second. I want to ask this. Have you been interacting with the public since you've been crowned? Does that make it more real for you?
So I've been immediately put into interviews, and I've been on radio yesterday. So not quite yet. I wouldn't say not quite yet. Yes, social media is there, and I've expressed my gratitude towards all the love and support. I mean, when I walked on that stage for the first time in the opening scene, the crowd, every single person just really bringing the energy really did carry me. So I do want to interact as much as I can, but yeah, Media Week is up first. So after that, hopefully we can go to more events. Just get in there.
Get in there, get going.
Yes,
you've got the crown, you've got to do it. Selwyn, I think it's Durban. Selwyn,
yes.
Morning. Go ahead. You're with.
Hi. Good morning to you, Gareth. Firstly, Natasha, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Natasha, what program will you have in South Africa in view of the forthcoming elections and social cohesion? In view of the turmoil and unrest we have here, can we contact you or your authorities directly and intervene with you and help you to get along? And what program you have to bring South Africa together and let the rest of the world know that South Africa has got beauty as well? Thank you, Natasha. Thank you.
You knew you were going to get the election question at some point.
I feel like someone got the election question actually on stage.
And?
So for me, it's very simple.
Yeah.
You can't complain if you don't vote. That's where I want to leave it. I really do feel like we need to show up if we want to see a difference.
Yeah.
There's so much potential to this country, but we need to come together and actually go and vote, to make a notable difference. And then we can voice issues on things that really bother us, and that's a problem in this country. So that's my take on it.
Yep.
That's what I would have said on stage as well if I got the question.
It's a tricky time to be a Miss SA because we're going into the election cycle. So I think you knew you were going to get the question. You knew you were going to get it. So it's going to happen. I think I've got Howard in Kimberley with us. Go ahead, Howard. You're with Natasha Joubert. Talk to her. What's your comment? Good morning, Howard.
Morning. Morning, Natasha.
Morning, Howard.
Firstly, I'd like to say congratulations.
Thank you
You are truly a beautiful African lady.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and all the best, and keep our flag flying high, and hopefully we'll make it in the Miss Universe competition. All the best to you, yeah?
Thank you so much.
Zoe Joburg, we're getting a bunch of calls now. We're going to keep going here. We'll just do this. Natasha, I'm sure you don't mind staying with us for a couple of minutes.
No,
just a few more calls.
Yeah,
Zoe Joburg, we're going to talk about flying the flag high now. Zoe Joburg, morning. Go for it.
Good morning, Natasha. Good morning, guys.
Morning, how are you?
Fine, you. You're speaking to Zoe from Johannesburg South. I'm here with my daughter, Lizeko. She's 7 years. We were there watching you, and she was screaming for you. She just wanted to say hi and congratulations.
Hi, Natasha.
How are you?
Fine, and you?
Fine, thank you. Are you doing well?
Yes.
That's good.
I'm also doing modeling.
Are you doing modeling?
Yeah.
Are we going to see you on the Miss South Africa stage one day?
Yeah.
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there in the audience, rooting for you.
Okay.
Oh,
cute. Zoe and your little one, thank you for calling in. So in the stadium, in the arena, when you were actually being crowned, she was there cheering for you as well. Zoe and your little one, thank you. Howard as well. I got one more call. Team, just give me a sense. Sandra from Brom Fisherville. Hello, Sandra. Go with Sandra. Good morning. What's your comment? Morning.
Good morning. I just want... she is so beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sandra.
Okay. A question that I have for you today is, as you notice that we are going through teenage pregnancy in this country, so what plans do you have to make sure that it decreases?
For me, I take it back to the foundation of everything. It's educating people and really... working on that part, really informing people about what it's all about and preventative matters we can take into our own hands to prevent it from happening. But yeah, it is difficult. It's something.
Ed has got to be top of the priority.
Exactly. So it needs to start in schools. I feel like we need to take it back to the schools. We need to get learners educated. So hopefully that's something we can tackle as well this year.
You see, everyone's doing my job for you this morning.
Like I need to have a list. I need to like start writing down. Like if South Africans are saying something, I need to like start writing down, being like, okay, cool.
Them all here.
This is going to be the plan of action this year.
Sandra Bromfisherville talking about teenage pregnancy.
Yes.
Also, it was Howard and Kimberley about flying the flag high in South Africa. We're going to just keep you just 4 more minutes.
Perfect.
South Africa, stay with us. We're going to have one more call because I think they're coming in thick and fast now. Henderson, I think it is from PE. Henderson, go ahead. You're with Natasha and Gareth. What's your question? Comment.
I just want to congratulate Natasha.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and I want to ask her, now that she's been crowned during the GBV month, what project does she have that will more emancipate more women during this GBV month? Thank you.
I think it shouldn't only be about this month specifically, like gender-based violence. I think there's over like 10,818 cases per quarter that's happening. So
staggering.
For me, it's like it's something we need to constantly talk about. It's something that we need to voice constantly. And you know, as Miss South Africa, I know it's only day 2 for me, but it's something I will definitely speak on and bring awareness about, because we need to obviously raise this topic. It's a big problem in our country.
Yeah, South Africa
really is.
South Africa is calling in. They're asking you the difficult questions, but
it's okay. Like I need to get used to them as well. I need to go back and also think about them.
Yeah.
I need to read up more about the statistics. I need to realize how important they truly are, because that is what a Miss South Africa should do.
But you're getting a sense of how many people are going to be channeling
yes.
their social concerns,
yes.
their lives, their
yes.
thoughts, their beliefs through you
yes.
as well. Henderson, thank you for the call. I think we're going to take maybe one or two more. Let's see if I can fit in Irene. Irene, go ahead. You're with Gareth and Natasha. What's your comment or question? Morning, Irene.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, and you? I just would like to say I would love to do that to you one day.
Oh, shame. Are you going to enter Miss South Africa too?
I'm fine, thanks, and you?
I'm good. How old are you now?
Oh, I missed that. Irene, how old are you? Tell us your age. Irene? Oh, looks like we've lost Irene. She sounded very young, though. Irene sounded very young. Wants to be you.
Well,
one day.
Anyone can.
So anyone can. I want to ask while we're waiting for maybe just one more call. So we heard about flying the flag high and Miss Universe as well. What is the plan for that? What happens now? You got the crown. Obviously, you've clearly got a list from South Africa. They want you to address various issues. But pageantry-wise and your modelling career-wise, beyond being an ambassador, etc., what's the next step for you now this year?
Yes. So the plan of action is to be Miss South Africa. That's it. I won't be going internationally at all this year. I went to Miss Universe back in 2021. I represented our country, and now I'm giving the opportunity to another lady to do that for us. Really, really want to be in this position 365 days of the year. So that's exactly the plan of action.